It looks like it's that special time of the week again, Zach. Time for the drop list?
It's going to drop now.
You'll have to stay tuned. Welcome back, Gainers, to another incredible, exciting, fantastic episode of ComicGains! If you're new to the show, I'm Adam.
I'm Zach, and this is Princess Roy Highness. She's doing that princess wave, so you do it too. Bow down, respect. Of course, there's Coco.
Oh yeah, freshly shaved.
Christmas Coco.
Christmas Coco. Yeah, she's got her haircut. Looks pretty good. All right, guys. So we got a nice Monday drop list for you. We're getting close. We're less than a week away from Christmas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one day after a week away from Christmas. That works out.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully everyone's getting their shopping done, their presents done, and sometimes these drop list books make some good presents. You know, some stuff that you might be able to get on the cheap that used to be expensive a year ago. So. Yeah, before we get into any of the drop list, though, Zach, what do we got to drop in your belly?
Well, I forgot to get out some drinks today, so I actually had a beer in the fridge. So we're going to do a 2-town cider right here. Cosmic Crisp Tropical. It's very hard to see because it's so shiny and so vibrant and beautiful. But let's get into it without any further ado. Crisp. They're right.
Good.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
I like it.
All right, guys, and don't forget, if you've never been on Whatnot before, we have a special code down below. If you're a first-time buyer, you get $15 off your first purchase, and help support the show as well. We want to thank everyone that made it out this last weekend for our first ever giveaway mini train show, ComicGains mini train giveaway. All of you guys are awesome. Great members of the community. We're just happy to give back, and it worked out really well, so we'll definitely plan some new giveaway trains in the future, and yeah. So, if you haven't done that yet, it's a good way to get some cool free stuff and hang out. Plus, we made Zach take shots on the giveaway train. It was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Pretty fun. All right, let's get back to the comics. All right, guys. So, the ComicGains crew, if you're new to the drop list, every Monday, we scour the internet for hot lists, trending lists, all kinds of speculation lists, people that thought books were getting hot and going crazy, and we look 1 year later and see where they are now. Kind of like those VH1 where are they now, kind of shows, but we do it with comic books. And sometimes you make some pretty cool things happen where books just drop way down in price, and it might be a good idea to pick them up. Or they were never a good idea to buy in the first place, and we report that as well. And Zach kind of gives you his pick of the litter, if you might say, at the end of the show, which is always kind of interesting. So let's kick it off here. We got one of my favorite books. We got Vengeance #1 from 2011. You got Joe Casey and Gabrielle Delato. Pretty fantastic book. Oh, didn't even take the sleeve off.
Blame Adam.
Yeah, just a great book. How often does like Delato do covers for regular cover A? Fantastic. We got first appearance of Miss America Chavez, our favorite. We got Xochitl Gomez playing her in Multiverse of Madness. Was an excellent book. I think that was about a year ago when all this stuff was getting crazy. And just a fantastic book. It's kind of those books that got really, really hot. The characters coming out. It ended up being great. I think the character was cool. It's kind of one of those things. It's kind of surprising that it dropped that quick after the movie, because it's not a flop movie. The character was really good. The acting was awesome. But I just think overall this is a really cool book. It's also limited in copies too. 25,000 copies was printed. I think it's kind of an obscure name too, Vengeance, when it came out. So a lot of people probably passed on it in 2011, which is good for us now, because it's one of those books that actually kind of took off a little bit. But you got something to look forward to. The Marvels movie is coming out soon. She's going to be one of the main characters in the Marvels movie. And Nia DaCosta, if I said that right, is going to be directing that. And found out she's also the director of Candyman. I know Zach and the Princess saw the Candyman, and you guys liked that. It was a good movie, so I'm excited. Sometimes these horror directors do really well directing Marvel movies. James Gunn started out doing horror movies, and then switched over to doing Marvel, and that turned out well. So we may get something cool with this one. But how far is the good old Vengeance drop there?
Prices a year ago for CGC 9.8 was $1,161. Now it's selling for $504. Lower than half.
Whoa.
Range $447 to $1,999.99. Wow, it's dropped a lot from the high. Absolute high. Average sales $1,057.54. Yeah, this is a nice book. I wouldn't mind getting another one for $500.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to be a very mainstream character, I'm telling you. She was very fun in The Multiverse of Madness. Yeah, she was a great actress. I mean, I could see a very nice storyline for her building up from now on.
Yeah.
I would get this book.
Yeah, definitely. This is pretty close to the right time. There is some people are speculating it's going to drop a little bit further, but I can't imagine it's going to go too far lower than where it is now. It's one of those things, I don't know if it's going to get quite back to where it was, because that was almost crazy when it was like, 1,400, 1,600 and 9.8 for a book from 2000. But also keep an eye out for that 1 in 25. That's that could be a book for the future to speculate. That could be an investment book.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
all right. Let's kick it off to a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Okay, cool.
When they did Star Wars number 10 from 1999, you got a Dark Horse goodness here. This is one of Zach's favorite books. This is Ken Kelly and Tim Truman work on this. 2 superhero names there. I like that. This is the first appearance of Ashard Het, who later becomes Darth Krayt. Which you may know him better as Darth Krayt, the famous Darth Krayt.
Mm-hmm.
But this is one of those cool books. It's kind of fun having a nice Dark Horse book like this actually have some value behind it.
Well, absolutely.
With kind of a little bit of an obscure character, but this is a very revered story in Star Wars mythos. It's not canon, but they're slowly borrowing all these characters into canon. Mm-hmm. It's kind of what people are anticipating. This story kind of led up to Legacy, which is kind of also one of the great Star Wars stories that have gone on. So that's kind of why this book is so popular. A year ago, though, when they did the Book of Boba Fett, and it was very Sand People heavy in Tatooine, a lot of people are anticipating that Darth Krayt was going to show up in that. He didn't. I don't know if they're going to go any further with that. I actually personally like the Book of Boba Fett. I know a lot of people wasn't everybody's cup of tea. I thought it was done really well. But so it's hard to say if that character is going to pop up in that aspect. But that's why it got hot a year ago, and now it's dropped a little bit. Might be a good idea to pick this up going forward. Do be on the lookout for the newsstand. It was so rare that even low-grade copies were selling for like an insane amount. But how far has that good old Darth Krayt fallen there, Zach?
So 1 year ago, it was selling in a 9.8 for $1,200. Wow, that's a lot.
That is a lot. For Dark Horse?
Yeah. Now, $331.78. The range is $331.78 to $1,200, vice versa. Average sales is $648.79. This again is a buy. I think it's going to be a slow burn. I think it'll be a while for it to get up to the same heights it was, kind of like the last book. But I think this is going to continue to go up in price. Yeah. So I think it's a fantastic pickup for that price. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
That's all I got to say about that. I like it. it. All right. Next up on the list. This is a book I've been hunting for a very long time. I'm super jealous that Zach has a copy for us to show you. And I don't think this will stay on the drop list for a long time. But we do have Strange Tales 126 from 1964. Jack Kirby and Stanley Goodness, the duo of all duos working on this book together. This is the first appearance of Dormammu and Clea, the wife of Doctor Strange, and Zach's sneeze on camera. I'm just kidding. But it's a double key greatness here. Just a fantastic book. I love that blue cover in the background. I don't think in that run you don't see very many of that blue that goes on in the background, and it's just great. I mean, it's a busy cover. If you notice, a lot of the Strange Tale covers have a lot of stuff going on, especially when they start to mix like Doctor Strange with Nick Fury, and then almost trying to show like 2 covers on one. But it works. I like it. I dig this book a lot. This obviously got hot. A lot of this list has to do with Multiverse of Madness. Obviously, we were all expecting to see Clea in that movie, and she did not disappoint. Right at the very end, we got to see the great Charlize Theron show up at the end, which I'm super excited to see her going forward. She makes a great Clea. And
it's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah, I've fallen in love with Clea with the current story, the current comic book series right now coming out. They've shown her so much backstory, so much character to her. She's almost kind of like a no-nonsense, almost like an anti-hero kind of character going on. So super exciting. that this book dropped because this may be the one I'm looking out to get. And I don't know, Zach, how far has it gone?
It's dropped quite a bit, and something else dropped around.
Yeah, Coco's getting some work busy. Down there.
So this book is very hard to find in high grade.
I'm looking for it.
The one I could see that has a sell range of a year was a 9.0. 9.8s, 9.6s, 9.4s, they're not dropping price, and they're not showing up on the regular selling sites.
That's very true. Usually when you have a great book like that, you don't sell it unless it's on like the high, and if you need the money. And otherwise, just keep it.
Yes. Yeah. So you're not going to find this book in a high grade. Not usually. But a 9.0, that's not bad. And price, actually not that bad either. But price a year ago was $2,875. Now, $2,006.02. So it didn't make that much of a drop. But at the same time, I think this book has a lot of potential with it. The range is vice versa. Switch it over. Average is $2,440.51. I think if you got the change, if you could get this 9.0 for that price, I think you're going to be laughing all the way to the bank. There's two great first appearances there. And they've shown them both in the MCU, but as kind of like minor roles. Like either the villain in the background has like, a 5-minute fight with Doctor Strange that was just Groundhog's Day, or trailer at the end of it, or the end credit scene. Show it clear. I mean, they're kind of like setting these two characters up, just giving them just the bare minimum, just a little taste of the pie. Ooh. You're excited for the whole thing when you're ready for it.
Yeah, and Clea's like the sorcerer supreme of the Dark Dimension, which Dormammu is the ruler of. So we're gonna see more of them together. Just makes sense. I mean, they got she's like related to Dormammu, like a niece or something, some form of niece, like. Her mom is Dormammu's sister or something.
I'd like to see that family tree. That must be messed up.
I'm going to be over there for Thanksgiving.
Oh, gosh.
All right. Oh, we got a lot of personal favorites on this list. We have one of the princess's personal favorites. We got to borrow this from her collection. Oh, yeah. The Good Asian, #1, Image Comics 2021. I know personal that she's read this book and enjoyed it very much. We got David Johnson and Pornsack working on this book together. This is a noir detective book about basically Chinese immigration police detective that has to deal with a lot of like racial issues and things going on. But just overall, a lot of people that I've talked to that have read the story just said it's amazing. I think it kind of just bought it randomly. Prince is like, the covers they grow on you kind of like at first you're like, oh, it's a decent cover, and then it kind of grows on. But Princess read it and just fell in love with the story like instantly. Kind of having to deal with all this like crap of like people dealing with a murder and having to like interview different people when certain groups of people weren't respected like they should have been back in times in the United States. And just a great book. I recommend everybody pick it up. Absolutely. It's probably one of Princess's top books of 2021 on her list. But there's a lot of year ago there was a lot of movie spec going on with this. I think there's still going to be a movie or a TV show coming out. I think that'd be really, really cool. But when they first get that initial movie spec, all these books start to hype up and get really hot. And I know this is one of those ones where it just became instantly like a $20, $40 book just based on how good the writing was on this one, which was kind of cool to see that. But now as time goes on, and I think it ended after, I want to say like, issue 9 or 10 or something like that, the series ended. It's, books start to drop off. A lot of those, that's independent books kind of drop away. But I don't know, Zach, what's the numbers on this book?
So prices a year ago was $69.99. Now it's $32 for CGC 9.8. Range is $26 to $127.50. Average sale is $65.83. I mean, $32 for 9.8 that has this much potential. That's. I should actually have 10 copies by now.
I know.
I'm like looking at the numbers here. I think I'm gonna have to stop over at the computer.
I think you got one of the variants recently.
I got one of the variants.
Yeah, you got one of the variants. Yeah, when it was getting hot.
I might need to get some more. Geez, for this price. And I'd say this is a pretty decent deal. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes.
For a good book like that could have they just start to do a movie on this or a series. It's gonna go to the moon.
They're gonna do something.
All right, and last but not least, we finally have a book that we don't have. We should have this book. We don't have that much Daredevil around the house, though. But we have Daredevil 131 from 1976. Rich Buckler and Marv Wolfman. Oh, But this is first appearance of who, Zach?
Oh, first appearance of Bullseye.
Bullseye. Yeah, probably one of the greatest villains that Daredevil's had for like quite a long time. You got Kingpin up there, but Bullseye's always been like a great villain. This character got really hot a year ago for a couple of reasons. You got Hit Monkey cartoon coming out. We know that he had to use Lady Bullseye because Marvel wanted Bullseye for something else, so that was like a double whammy. They're like, okay, they're going to use him. Might as well go grab some Bullseye goodness. And then we find out right after that Daredevil came back to the MCU, and they're going to be doing the Born Again series. And, obviously they're going to be using Bullseye for that. And last time we saw him, Colin Farrell, they used him for the movie, which he did a pretty good job. I like that he had that little imprint of the Bullseye in his forehead instead of wearing the mask, but that worked out well, and I don't know. It's kind of one of those great... There's a lot of good Daredevil keys out there, surprisingly. You got Elektra and all that goodness, but this book has fallen a little bit, and we haven't even seen the fruits of its labor yet. The fruits.
The fruits of your labor.
Exactly. We haven't seen the character and its drop, so it might be a good idea. Once you get that preview, you get that extra little boost, right?
Mm-hmm,
that preview.
Absolutely.
The preview boost.
Boosting.
What do we got on this Daredevil key, though?
So, in a 9.6... it was selling a year ago for $2,229.
That's high. That's high.
Now it's low.
Now
Dang it.
Real
now it's selling for $1,084. Much more reasonable.
Wow.
Range $1,084 to $2,300. Average sale is $1,715.88. $1,000 basically for this big key. What's not to like about it at all?
Mm-hmm.
I think you might hit a bullseye. 100 over 100.
Like when he flicks that peanut in that old lady's mouth. It's like,
oh, she's so tired. She's all tugged out. Yeah, I would say probably the deal of the day.
Deal of the day
would be the Good Asian #1.
Okay.
I mean, there's no reason why you can't make some decent money on that book. And I would say if you got the cash, I would say I'd say Vengeance 1. I mean, the Strange Tales 126 probably would have bigger bang for your buck, but who gets $2,000 just to throw out a comic usually?
Yeah.
Especially right around now. 500, a little bit more reasonable. But 2,000, Christmas time? I'd try to go after the Vengeance 1. I think that has a lot of legs. But maybe not as much as... Okay, how about this?
Wait, I'm getting
Bargain. Okay, Bargain. Good Asian #1. Medium tier, like Christmas time buy, Vengeance #1. Big baller buy that just has enough money where you can sink a battleship. You go Strange Tales 126, and that's all I got to say about it.
There you go. Now I get it.
There we go.
All right, guys. All right. If you enjoy these drop lists as much as we like delivering them to you, all you got to do is hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell so you always know when new things are dropping down. Leave a comment down below. We love to hear if any of you guys have any of these books, or if you're surprised or happy that any of them ended up on the drop list. It's always exciting. And, yeah, Zach, you got anything else?
You got to share. How you do that is you have to be a baby during Christmas time. And you're all confused. You see a teddy bear. You crawl towards the teddy bear. I saw this movie last night. They made me. And then you get in the sack. And then some guy with a gigantic beard takes the sack, takes you to the North Pole. You grow up as an elf. And then you want to find your biological father. So you go back to New York. Your father is not the best guy in the world. But things work out. Things happen. And eventually they accept you're crazy. And somehow you get a really, really nice, hot lady as your elf wife. I'm so jealous.
And put syrup on everything.
And put syrup on everything. Why not? More sugar, more better.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And that's how you get those elf gains.
I like it. All right, guys. Until we see you next time, remember, stay safe.
And tug on Santa's fun sack. No, don't do that. Get those gains.